Okay, good morning everyone. It's a beautiful Tuesday here in New York City, and I am here with you for warm-up day 12. So we're going to start on the floor today. Sorry, you'd think by week 3 I would have this, be a little bit more proficient in all of this. Alright, here we go. So we're going to start on the floor, starting on our backs, and to begin with, just tending to whatever your body needs at the moment. So maybe you need to take a moment and settle into the floor. Maybe take a moment to let your arms be down by your sides and feel the support of the floor underneath you. Letting yourself give over into gravity. Picturing that the floor is holding you up. Letting yourself just melt into the floor. And then from there, you can feed in a yawn and a stretch, or do whatever your body is yearning for, so really tending to yourself. So you may decide to wake up the skin of your body by slapping down a leg, and then the other leg. You might decide to massage through your body. You might decide to come into some more yawns and stretches, but for a few moments here, give your body whatever it needs, whatever it might be asking for physically. For me, it's yawning and stretching at the moment. And if you're just joining, because I cannot see with this new interface when anybody joins, if you're just joining, then we're taking a few moments on the floor to do whatever it is that you need to do, whatever your body is asking for. So that might take the form of yawning and stretching. That might take the form of waking up the skin of your body. That might then take the form of massaging into the muscles and the flesh. But the goal is to bring yourself more into this present moment in your physical body. To tend to anything that needs a wake up, needs release, anything that might feel a little stiff. So for me, that's my neck, because I slept really weird last night on my neck. So we're tending to the garden of our bodies, and we're weeding out anything that we don't want there. for joining. You can feel free to leave a comment at some point. Don't feel you have to get up from the floor to do that, but then I'll know you're here. Alright, and begin to come to the end of that tending. Let it find its organic end. You don't have to abandon yourself, but and then let's come to the knees bent with the feet flat on the floor, and the feet are about hip socket distance apart. Arms can be down comfortably by your sides. And I prefer to have my palms facing up towards the sky. You can try it with your palms facing down, and you might notice that that sort of turns the shoulder in an odd way. So for me, to find the most freedom and release, I'm going to let my palms face up towards the ceiling. And let's come and bring attention to the breath for a moment. Letting the lips part softly. Feeling that exchange of breath coming in and out through your mouth. And you're noticing your everyday natural breath rhythm. You're not going into some breath exercise. You're not actively trying to breathe. You're not taking in more breath than is needed. You're simply observing your body. Observing your breath. Noticing the rise and fall in your belly. And now you can keep some attention on your breath, but now bring the attention down to the pelvis, to the sacrum. And let's come into that pelvic rock that we worked with yesterday. So if this is a new experiment for you, you can start slowly, picturing perhaps it might be useful that there's a clock face on your pelvis, and the 12 is towards your head, and the 6 is towards your feet. And you're going to tip your pelvis down towards the 6, so down towards your feet. And you'll notice that the lower back comes off the floor a little bit. And then you tip your pelvis, or you roll your pelvis back towards the 6. You don't bring the pelvis off the ground, but you'll feel it rock towards your head. And then down towards your feet, and towards your head. So you can think feet and head, or 12 or 6 and 12. 6 and 12. 6 and 12. Maybe it's simpler just to think feet and head, right? Feet and head, right? And so you're looking to find a little bit faster and looser movement till it becomes a rock. A pelvic or a sacral rock. I would say loosely to the rhythm of ba-bum, 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 ba-bum. But you can find whatever rhythm works for you. What you're looking for here is that the thigh muscles can stay relaxed, that the belly muscles stay soft, and you may feel that there's a little bit of a press into the feet, and that's okay. But see if you can do that without engaging the leg muscles. So you're rocking the pelvis, and you should feel that this is also rocking through your spine and your skull as well. Check in with your breath as you do this. Feed in a sigh of breath. As if you're rocking the breath through your torso. And now let that sigh of breath turn to a sigh of vibration. And see if you can feel that sigh of vibration getting rocked through your whole torso, from your pelvis or your sacrum to your skull. And you may even feel the vibrations down in your feet and legs, and perhaps even through your arms. So pay attention this time to where you feel vibrations getting rocked out, rocking and rolling through your body. Gently let that rocking come to stillness. When you come to stillness, see if you feel a rush of energy from your pelvis all the way up through your torso, down through your arms and legs. Haha. Sort of reminds me of that ride at the fair, the carnival, that gravitron, where it's spinning, 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 or sort of like a centrifuge, and when you stop, everything kind of comes to the middle. Yeah. Extend your legs out from your hip sockets. So now if we want to get a rock through the whole body, if you can see me, let me move a bit so you can see. If we want to rock through the whole body, the legs extended, feet hip socket distance apart, we can get a rock through the heels. So to do that, point your feet away from you and then towards you. Point your feet away and towards. And make sure it's the whole foot getting pointed, not just the toes. So feet point away and towards. Away from you and towards you. Away and towards. Away and towards. And then eventually, you let it go a little faster. Until it comes into a loose rock of your heels. And because your legs are extended now, you can really feel the rock, hopefully, through your entire body, your entire skeleton now. Now I feel a little impetus to engage my quad muscles, so I'm going to try to resist that and try to relax those as much as possible. But of course, because we are pointing and flexing, there is some movement in those muscles, so we can't deny that, I think. Ba-bum, 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 ba-bum. And see if you can feel the rock coming from the heels, through your legs, through your pelvis, through your torso, and even up and through your head. Your whole body's getting rocked. And you can add your head rocking gently from ear to ear to loosen in your neck. And gently let that rocking in your heels come to stillness. Let your legs flop out to the side. Feel that rush of energy. See how those vibrations feel now. And blow through your lips. Can you feel vibrations in your hands, in your arms, in your legs? Float your knees up and over your belly, one at a time. And bring your right hand on top of your right knee, your left hand on top of your left knee. And I'm feeling the need after those heel rockings to loosen in my hip sockets, because like some of you I know, very tight hamstrings. So we're going to circle the knees, circle the legs, but we're going to let the hands do all of the work. So the legs are passive, the feet are just dangling off of the ankles, and you're stirring up your legs so you can, I'm going in opposite directions here. Opening up the hip sockets. It's very, very tempting for the legs to want to take over here, but see if they can really they can just take a holiday, take a vacation, and let your hands do all the work. And then maybe a little rock in and away, or a little shake in and away from your belly. Yeah. And then extend your legs up into the sky, and then shake the vibrations from your pelvis up through your legs. And it doesn't matter if your legs are straight or bent. Mine are not straight. So you can have a slight bend here or a big bend here. And then you're going to shake the vibrations from your pelvis up and out through your legs and up into the sky. And then let your heels drop back to your thighs. And then wibble wobble your feet off of your thighs. Ha 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 ha. One more time, extend your legs up to the sky. Drop the heels to the thighs. Let your arms now stretch out to a T. Let them drop to one side, whatever you like, to a diagonal stretch on that side. Head and neck gently drop away from the knees. Relaxing here. Feeding in a yawning, smiling sigh through your mouth, down to the hip socket. And as you sigh out, stretch and relax your tongue. Ha-ya. Ha-ya. 2 tongue stretches. When you yawn in through that smiling animal roar, picture the breath going through that wide open space all the way down to your hip socket, and then it sighs out through the riverbed of your torso, through that yawning, smiling sigh space, and then stretch and relax your tongue twice. And now as you loosen the middle of your tongue, let your knees come up and over your belly to the other diagonal stretch, letting your top knee go first, and then your bottom leg follows as an afterthought. Relaxing here for a moment in this diagonal stretch. Breathing into any place that feels tight. If you want, you can bring your hand on top of the knee. So whatever hand is closest to the knee. So if you're on your right side, it would be the right hand on the left knee. Feeding in that yawning, smiling sigh down to that hip socket lung. Sighing out, stretching, relaxing your tongue twice. Picture the sigh finding its release up and over the roof of your mouth, so it goes over your tongue as you stretch. Relax the belly. Loosening your tongue. If your hand's on the knee, let it drop to the ground. Loosening your tongue again and float your knees up and over your belly. Clasp your hands around your right knee. Let your left foot drop flat to the floor, or you can extend it if that feels better. Feeding in a sigh and imagining that the roots of your tongue extend down into your right hip socket. And as you feed in the sigh, you'll shake your tongue loose, and you'll shake your knee in and away from the belly, so that you're loosening the hip socket, loosening those roots of the tongue, and loosening in your actual tongue. Gently exchange your knees. The roots of your tongue, in your imagination, extend down into this hip socket, shaking the tongue loose as you shake your knee in and away from the belly. Exchange your knees. You can add to this, letting your head gently rock from ear to ear. And remember that the head rock will be a slower rhythm than the knee shake. Exchange your knees. breath goes down to the hip socket. Exchange knees. Exchange knees. Unclasp that knee, let that foot drop flat, so both knees are bent, both feet flat on the floor. And now check in with those hip sockets. Do they feel looser? Can you feel the space there? And can you picture the space between your hip sockets through that whole wide pelvic basin? And can you let the source of your voice originate down in that wide open pelvic space? And what does it feel like to speak from your pelvis? What is that sensation? And say, I feel, and then whatever it is that you feel with the thought and the feeling of your vibrations down in your pelvis. I feel wide. Bring your fingers now into your jaw. And your jaw might be yearning for a little release after all of those tongue stretches. So gently massaging into the masseter muscles. Massaging up into the hinge joint. Remember, the hinge joint is up by your ears. And the masseter, those big chewing muscles, connect underneath the cheekbone, and then they go down and back to the back of the jawbone by the angle point of the jawbone. So really taking a moment here to loosen up, soften. Maybe you sort of pull from underneath the cheekbones down and back along the masseter, like you're pulling taffy. You're pulling soft candy or something. Check in with your breath. And you're asking the jaw to soften and release. And then let that go. Bring your hands to your jaw. Thumb pads underneath your chin. First fingers over your jawbone, over your chin. Feed in a sigh from that pelvic space that you were speaking from a moment ago. Feed in that warm sigh from the pelvic floor, pelvic basin, up and over the roof of your mouth, and shake your jaw loose. And then let your jaw be free and sigh. So with this coordination and this communication from that space in the pelvic basin to that loose jaw. And then speak this thought. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. and see how that feels. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Can you still feel that as we go on to that little text, can you still feel those vibrations beginning in that pelvic floor, coming up and through your torso, and then past a jaw that's completely uninvolved, completely free? Red, blue, yellow, green. I feel, and then whatever it is you feel. I feel long. Float your knees up over your belly. Drop over into a semi-fetal on one side. And then bring yourself up onto all fours, onto your hands and knees. About 5 or 6 minutes left of our warm-up. For those of you who have important tasks to tend to in the day. So coming onto all fours, onto hands and knees. And let's wake up the spine from the floor. So it's been, oh, hello Christy, hello Tess. Now I see your notes. Waking up the spine. It's been on the floor. Arching and rounding it gently. Yes, for you yogis out there, you might think of this as cat-cow. You might just think of this as a hello to the spine. Gently arching and rounding through your spine. You can start, rather subtly here if you need to, because this is quite a big leap from the floor. Good, and then come to a neutral spine. I'll come into an angle so you can see me. So we'll begin with the spine rounded, the tailbone dropped, the head dropped. The ha-ha is the tailbone going up. The hum travels along the train tracks of your spine. At the top of that thought, your head, your skull lifts off the bottom jaw, and the vibrations release out of your mouth. So you're picturing that hum train traveling along your spine. So I'll give it to you first. Hum ma. Then your tailbone drops, the belly drops, the breath drops in. This time we're going to add, to wave goodbye to your hum train, you're going to stretch and relax your tongue twice. So it will be like this. Hum ma. Tailbone drops, belly drops, breath drops in. Hum ma. Tailbone drops, belly drops, breath drops in. Hum ma. Round your spine, come back to a folded leaf. Relax here for a moment. Loosening the middle of your tongue. Tuck your toes underneath you and slowly push yourself back into a squat. Heel toeing your way back into a wide squat. Extending one leg out to the side and breathing in and out on a whispered ka as you flex and point that foot. Waking up the soft palate, opening the space in the back of the mouth. Bring that leg into the squat, stretch the other leg out, breathe in and out on a whispered ka as you flex and point that foot. Now you're going to keep that leg extended. You're going to breathe in on a whispered ka. That's going to take you through the squat, over to the other side. You'll call a high on sound vibration and stretch and relax your tongue as you point and flex your foot. So it will be something like this. Hi. See if you can let your head drop here. You can turn and see your foot, but let your head be long. Neck be long. Bring that leg back into the squat. Let your head hang over from your tailbone over your rounded spine. Sigh and loosen the middle of your tongue. Good. And come back onto our knees here and sit back on your knees. And just to finish us off, a quick hello to our resonators, our lower resonators. So lengthen your neck up and back. If you want to sit cross-legged, you can do that. Lengthen your neck up and back. Lay a hand on your chest, slip a hand up between your shoulder blades, and let your thought drop down into the wide open spaces of your chest. And sigh up through your chest resonator. Feel that resonance in your ribs. Come up on your neck. Find your mouth resonance. And then let your hands now come in front of your mouth to extend your hard palate, and let the resonance from your mouth come from your hands and then out across the room. And then lengthen your neck forward and find your teeth resonance. He. You can bring a finger onto your teeth. He. And then drop it from your teeth to the floor. He. Neck long, throat open. He. 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 Come back to your mouth. And drop back to your chest. Come back up on your neck and blend those three resonators. Hey. Hey, hey, hey. And shake it through your torso. Hey. Hey. So that's our warm-up for today. I encourage you to now take this hey and shake it out through a leg, shake it out through an arm, come to standing, and let the bones of your body throw a hey onto the wall, and then throw a hey into the day. Have a great day.